Okay, well, I have something planned for the next project. Uh, if you haven't seen my short, I'm sorry if my camera's glitching out. Something's wrong with the programming between that and how it attaches to my computer. I haven't been able to figure it out. I've put it in different jacks, but that's beside the point. Next project that I have going on is I'm going to build a hybrid jazz bass and precision bass, and what I've got is the Les Claypool Pachyderm Gold precision bass pickups. These are going to be part of the project. They have their own wiring harness, their own output jack, and everything. I'm going to keep that separate along with its own volume and tone knobs. And then I have the Robert Trujillo Riptides, which are jazz bass pickups, and it also has its own wiring harness, its own output jack, and I'm going to leave that output jack separate. The reason why I'm doing this for the next project, um, I want to build a unique bass, something that's very unusual. I know it's not too awful unusual. I've looked up different videos of people that have multiple output jacks on their instruments. But what I want to do this for is I've always loved the sound of a precision bass and I've always loved the sound of a jazz bass. And having them both together combined, especially with these specialty EMG signature pickups for each one of these particular artists, it's going to be one of those things that I want to have it to where you can run either the precision bass or the jazz bass pickups individually or simultaneously and get a very unique sound, but also be able to run each set of pickups through a completely unique set of effects pedals if you want. One of the things that I've always run into with effects pedals is whenever you're having them in line with each other, they tend to interfere with one another in a very bad way, and so they don't really mesh the way that they should audibly. And so, what I want to do is bypass that bullshit of them not meshing together properly and making it to where you have this excellent chorus effect with a beautiful distortion effect going simultaneously without interfering with each other in a bad way. And that's why I'm doing both of them with both their separate output jacks individually. The advantages to this is I can run both sets of pickups through different pedals and even different amps if I want to. The disadvantages, if you want to run them both through the same amp, you have to have a splitter and basically reverse it so that way it puts it back into a single signal. So that's annoying in its own way, but at the same time, that's not what I'm going for with this next project. Um, Also, one of my neighbors threw away a bunch of very nice cedar, and I'm going to see if I can make the next body out of that. I'm also going to be going to a specific lumber yard, which is a 4-hour drive away, and will probably cost me a shitload of money. But it's going to be worth it being able to actually get decent maple. I don't know if I want to get Wenge. I've been looking up what it takes to get that, and it's getting close to critically endangered. And I don't want to use that as a wood for a guitar if it's something people are literally taking, despite the fact that it is becoming closer to extinct. I know it's commonly used in guitars, but because of that fact, people have been over harvesting it from what I've been researching, and that's just not sustainable, especially not for a specific species of wood. I'm definitely going to be using ebony. I'm trying to find out if it's at least ethically sourced, but I'm going to do a little bit more research on that. But I would like to use ebony for the fretboard because that's more traditional. I'm going to actually get the tool needed to measure out the fret scale length for the next project, and I'm going to actually fret the next bass project. I want it to be a lot more precise than just building a fret list, because that's honestly a bit easier and less time consuming way to build an instrument from what I found in the two that I've built so far. And so the plan is I'm getting the fret wire, the fret saw, all that good stuff. It's going to be shipped to me. Um, I'm gonna wait till further in the project to get the hardware, like the bridge and the tuning machines, because the Pachyderm golds are obviously gold, and the Riptides are chrome. And so what I want to get is the bridge being gold. Then you have one of the Riptide pickups. It is, chrome, so basically silver. And then you have the pachyderms in between the two Riptide pickups, which are gold. Then you have the other Riptide pickup, which is going to be silver. And so I want it to go gold, silver, gold, or yeah, gold, silver, gold, silver, gold, essentially. So those fives, the bridge, pickup, you know, so on and so forth. And even with the knobs, I'm going to put all the silver knobs, which I've got 3 of them ordered for the jazz pickups. All the silver knobs are going to go on the jazz bass pickups because they're silver, and on the pachyderms, it's only requiring 2 knobs. So I've got 2 gold knobs coming in for the pachyderms. That way it's easily distinct, but it also goes with the general idea of, the gold, silver, gold. And because there's only 2 silver and 3 gold whenever it comes to the bridge, the pickups, and then the tuning machines, for the knobs, to balance out the amount of items that are gold and silver, I decided, the 3 silver knobs for the jazz pickups and the 2 gold knobs for the Pachyderm precision bass pickups. But I really want to make a unique instrument that is going to be able to achieve a sound that no one else can really replicate. That's the whole point behind trying to do this. And I know that's probably not a good idea for a third ever attempt at building an instrument, but I like kicking myself in the nuts, essentially. So that's going to be the plan for the next project, and I hope it turns out well. I'm going to do my best to correct the mistakes that I even made on the second one. I tried a much thicker neck than what I normally would have played normally. And it's about a quarter inch thicker than the rest of them, and I didn't think it would make that much of a difference, but Jesus Christ, that is such a thick neck. It is so thick. Like, okay, let me give an idea of just how thick that is. This neck right here, it doesn't look like it, but just this white piece of wood right here is a ½ inch thick. Okay, now I'm going to reach around, giggity, and grab the base that I built. And the fretboard ends right here. But you can see, if you can tell the difference, how much thicker this ½ inch is. And you look at both of these next to each other, and just from the looks, it's like, oh, it shouldn't be that bad. But whenever you actually go to play, the feel is just ridiculously different, because this is a chunky boy, chunky bass. And I am very proud of it. I'm actually very happy with the fact that I managed to make a functional instrument. And this one, as you can see, has the whole jazz bass hardware, or electronics rather, uh, hip shot bridge, uh, Goto fucking tuning machines, and because it's a fretless, I did go with flat wound strings. But this thing is made of oak. It does not hold its tuning if it's subjected to any any temperature change whatsoever. So I have to tune this thing pretty much constantly, even though it's in a temperature controlled room. The slightest fluctuation really knocks it out of tune, and it's not the best instrument. For the videos that I played, it was not set up properly, and so it was very difficult to play because the strings were like, you know, a half an inch off the fretboard in some spots. That's almost not an exaggeration. But it it's not a perfect instrument. It was more to relearn what I had learned from the first one and perfect more of the problems that I had with the first build, which was made of pine. The video for that's in my channel archives. But for the third project, I really want to make something unique and something that no one else is going to be able to just replicate the sound of. And so that's why I'm going to put two different sets of pickups and make it a requirement for this bass to have two outputs. They're also active pickups, so I'm going to have to put two 9-volt batteries in this fucking thing, which is going to be very annoying. But because of the cedar that I received, I'm going to use that as the body of this guitar. The cottonwood that I've been processing, I may even see if I'm going to do a lot more research, but I'm going to see if that can be used in the neck in any way, shape, or form. I don't know how it would perform in that, but we're going to see. And so I'm going to use the wood that's available to me. I've got the pickups ordered. I'm going to wait till later in the project to get the other hardware ordered. I'm actually going to make a fretted instrument on the next part of this project. I've got the truss rod, I've got the remaining bone nut, and hopefully, this next project is going to be something that is completely unique that no one's going to be able to replicate the sound of, and that's my intent for it. Um, I just need to also make sure that I get the bone nut right this time because for that oak build, which I'm calling Annie Oakley, by the way, because that was a total trick shot. I can't believe I got it to work, considering it's literally the second instrument I've ever built. So yeah, it's not only because it's made of oak, but because it's a total trick shot. Um, I named it Annie Oakley. But the next one is going to be a cedar, hopefully maple, um, and maybe it, depending on what wood I can find at Acacia Hardwoods in Lubbock. That's who I'm going to be going through, but I need to talk with them about what sources of their materials, because I really want to use the wood that is going to be best for this guitar, but I also really want to make sure it's ethically sourced if at all possible. um which is going to be really really hard to confirm, let's just be honest. But the simple fact of the matter is I'm going to try. I'm going to absolutely try and make sure everything is as ethically sourced as possible. And it's going to be another really long project. I'm going to be posting shorts about it pretty much constantly. But the thing is, I plan on making a very unique instrument that is going to be able to get a very unique sound. I'm also not going to put a 3/4 inch thick neck on it because Jesus Christ, that is really hard to play. And don't get me wrong, it actually plays surprisingly well from what I thought it would. I'm really impressed with myself for my second instrument ever that I've built. And yeah, I'm going to make it something that is going to be a lot more easily played and also have such a unique sound and hopefully also a very unique look that no one's going to be able to replicate. And, well, not without an extreme amount of effort, obviously. And so that's the plan for the next project. It's going to be absolutely epic. And I'm so looking forward to actually getting started on it. But first, if anyone has seen my short of my latest one, first I need to clean up my damn workbench because it's a mess. It's an absolute mess and it's terrible and I need to organize it and I need to not be such a slob whenever it comes to doing projects. But that is going to be the end of this particular stream. I'm going to be making a cedar cottonwood is apparently part of the poplar and alder family. So it has been used in guitar bodies before, but it's not normally named as cottonwood. It's named as either poplar or alder from what I've researched. So that's why I need to look and see if it's going to be good for the neck. But I am definitely going to be getting some maple for the neck. As far as the other hardwood to reinforce it, I'm going to look into what's going to be best for that, see if cottonwood will work out for that. And gonna get some ebony for the fretboard. I can actually say that now because I'm planning on actually fretting it. And we're gonna go from there. And hopefully, the next instrument is even more beautiful than the one that I just created. So I'll keep you updated with lots of shorts, and I hope to see my now 100 subscribers, which I never thought I would see. I hope to see all of you looking at the new videos that are soon to come, and I hope you enjoy them. And by all means, pass all necessary judgments because if it's necessary, I deserve it. Catch y'all on the next one.